Good morning, TFR.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zack. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zack, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the planet. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to the Ironworx with Zack, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
This is Iron Mike Tyson, and you're listening to Iron Realm Media.
Yeah, barely. If only barely, you are listening to Iron Realm Media and the Ironworx. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Ironworx right here on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. Bit of a rocky start this morning. That's for damn sure. Although, to be fair, I almost forgot that it was Tuesday, having been off yesterday. Totally threw off my entire schedule. Not like schedule here in the US, but nice British pronunciation. It's just because they teach it differently in shul.
Shul.
Well, if schedule can be schedule, I don't see why school wouldn't be shul. But what do I know? What's up, Zach? How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, Josh. How was your weekend?
It was a long weekend, so it was good. It was a hot weekend. Well, not really hot. It was warm. This week's going to be friggin' hot in the 90s.
We had a cool weekend.
Go F yourself.
You were up in the 90s already?
Tomorrow, probably the next day. It'll still be in the 80s today, but.
Yeah, I haven't seen 80 in a while. We had a nice weekend. It was like a high of 59 Saturday.
Holy jeez.
Yeah, the peas were loving it. They shot up. Cammy says that's why, because we planted peas late, so we're having cold weather because they like cold weather. But okay, that works. But yeah, it's been beautiful. Hanging right around 70 yesterday, 70 something. Yeah, I'll take it. We are short a Walter, folks. He had kitty craziness last night. And he also forgot that it was Monday yesterday. And he woke up at about 11 o'clock last night from like sleep or a nap or something. He was like, oh, damn it. So we are short of Walter today. We'll try to keep an eye on the chat as well as Walter does. I don't know if we'll be able to.
No, I've not even been there yet, so it's not nearly as well as Walter does. But I did get the button pushed, so.
I went and checked. I actually went over to Rockfin to make sure.
Score one for
Walter's not here. Oh, man. Yeah, it was a beautiful weekend. We went and saw Sarah and Griff for a little bit yesterday. I don't even remember what we did Sunday or Saturday. Well, Saturday was Shabbat, so we just hung around and didn't do a whole lot of much.
Yeah, you can let Kimmy know that was my comment about the vacuum cleaner, because I know she couldn't vacuum it all on Saturday. So I was just curious as to how long it took her on Sunday before she woke up and got that vacuum cleaner going.
No, she actually did it Friday night after the show and all that stuff. Yeah, we're getting used to this. It's still hard though. Like getting everything ready for Shabbat is easy. Well, for the most part. I mean, you forget stuff here and there. And we don't go as far as, oh, we can't light a fire, can't cook something on the stove. I mean, I know that's what it actually says, but, you know, baby steps. We're just relaxing, not doing any work as of right now, like work. But yeah, I got most of the garage. Oh, we played a lot of ping pong over the weekend too. Oh, Saturday, yeah, I knew something happened. Commercial sound and video. Nathan came and hung out with Jana. She's Jay in chat when you see her. That was cool. Yeah, we've been more active, trying to get Cammy out of the house and go and hang out with people and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's been getting better. Jaren's getting better. He's such a good young man. Working on his programming stuff like nonstop. The young man is amazing. He's finally realizing that, hey, I can do something that other people can't do. It only took him, I mean, he's been programming since he was like 8 years old. And, he's almost 20. So he's got some time in on this, And all his buddies back in Colorado, their parents won't let them come to hang out, Usually you'd have somebody come out over the summer, but all their parents are getting on them about, you need to have a 9 to 5, blah, 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 blah. You know how it went back when we were late teens, getting out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Cammy doesn't need to be like that with Jaren. Jaren's made more money than most 19-year-olds make in their life unless they're playing like professional sports. Just doing what he does. And he's been getting down on himself like, oh, I'm telling Cammy how he needs to go get a job and this and that. And it's like, Jaren, you have a job. The point of a job is to make money, right? Not to go somewhere you don't want to be for 40 hours a week. The whole point of all of it, when it's all said and done, is to make that money. And you do. You make more than any 9 to 5 job you're going to go fill out an application for and go work at a grocery store or a fast food place or anything like that. You're already making more money.
I don't let him do it though. Yeah, he's going to make a shit ton more money doing what he does, bounty hunting, but let him see it. Let him give him a month
told him.
Punching in and punching out. See, Jesus,
that's what I told him. I was like, bud, this isn't like if you tell somebody you're going to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning, 4 days a week or 5 days a week, whatever, you have to be there. They're not going to be like, oh, he didn't feel like it today. Oh, well. I was like, no, that's not how this works out there in the real world. And so he's been thinking about it. I was like, do you really want? And then finally he was like, you know what? I really don't need one of those jobs, do I? No, you don't. I've been telling you this for a couple years now. I'm so happy he didn't go to college because he wanted to go and wanted to go and wanted to go and this and that and yada, yada, yada. I need a degree. I was like, but if there's a teacher out there that can teach you something about what you want to do, then go to college. Or if you just want to go for social interaction, or if you want to find a hobby in a club or something, and even if it takes 2 hours to get there, I'll drive you there and back every week if you want. I was like, whatever you want to do, like you make enough money to have a hobby now, if you want. You have this ability, but I kind of get it. He's still in this mindset that he's, almost still a child. He hasn't got that, I'm going to go out and take on the world type attitude.
Well, most men don't get that attitude until, well, it varies, but you can usually spot it because they'll start buying little red sports cars.
Mm-hmm.
Once they realize, shit, the best part of my life is over. All the things I thought I was going to do with my life can never happen now. I don't have the time or the inclination or the even ability to stop everything that I'm doing to go change directions and do this whole other thing. This is where I am. This is now my life. And insets their midlife crisis, realizing that it's all downhill from here.
Mm-hmm.
Try Office Space. Have them watch Office Space a couple times. That's always a good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Killing a desire for a 9 to 5.
And I get it. He's young. He's never had one of those. But Jaron doesn't like being told what to do. And I've been talking with him about that. I was like, but there's certain people that, are good at making widgets. They don't mind it. I was like, I don't see you making widgets. I just don't. I could see you standing there for half an hour and be like, this sucks. I want to go home. And then leaving. That's how I've seen it plenty of times working 17 years in factories. People come, don't even make it a half hour. I've seen a lot of them. And that's how it's not a diss at Jaron. Jaron doesn't like doing stuff like that. He just doesn't. He's too smart to be doing stuff like that. He really is. But yeah, he's finally getting it that, hey, he realized, he's like, I've been talking with some of the other guys, and yeah, they're not really all that great at programming either. Like, yeah, but it's not easy to do. What you do is not an easy thing to do by any means. He's like, oh, well, the younger people have a lot easier time. I was like, no, they don't. I mean, there may be a higher percentage, but for the most part, programming is programming.
Yeah, just because they have a better time figuring out the front end doesn't mean they know how to create the back end.
Yeah. And I'm sure children nowadays do have an advantage having, been around computers their whole lives. But programming, just because you can use an app, does not mean you have any idea how to program something.
Mm-hmm.
You could have one of those cell phones in your hand from the day you're born. It doesn't mean you're going to be a better programmer than someone who, never held one. That's just not how programming works. Yeah, he's got a skill. Exactly, Austin. That's what I've been trying to get through his brain, his thick skull here for a couple years now. You have a skill that, as long as you don't mess up, I told him his word is the most important thing that he has right now. Telling the truth and being honest. Because the skills are already there. You don't have to worry about that. All you have to worry about is companies being able to trust you. I mean, he has Fortnite's source code. He's got it on his computer. He also has like 5 levels of encryption on his computer now. He's taking it that seriously. But good. It's what the stuff that they're letting you look at and play with, it's got to be making them pull their hair out, giving it to a 19-year-old. I was like, the fact that they trust you enough with that code is a huge thing. I was like, don't ever, ever give them any reason to doubt you. And, always tell them the truth, no matter what. And I mean, they're a big corporation. I wouldn't doubt that they have people kind of like Willy Wonka, what was the guy, Slugworth? The guy who goes around and works for Willy Wonka, but tries to find out if the children is going to sell out to another company or this or that. I told him, I was like, I wouldn't doubt that they test you. So if you see something that somebody shouldn't have and they share it with you, you tell Magma, immediately. That's his head hacker guy's handle is Magma. I was like, you tell him everything. If you see something that one of your buddies has that they're not supposed to have, you let Magma know. This isn't about having a friend at work. This is about your job and your career and them being able to trust you. And they want to know if they can trust you. They're probably going to test you. They probably test everybody. And I think that really set in because there was something kind of like that going on. One of his buddies was released from Epic for doing something or this or that. I forget how it all went. But we were talking about, I was like, yeah, but I was like, this is one of those points in your life where you're going to have to make a decision. Is it this buddy or your career with Epic Games? And he's like, whoa. Think that? I was like, of course they do, bud. So I'm hoping, he's got a really good soul though. He doesn't hack into stuff to like steal information or try to things like that. Jaren doesn't care what's in the cabinet. Jaren wanted to unlock the lock on the cabinet. He didn't care about the chemicals and stuff like that back in there. He wanted to figure out how to open it. And that's Jaren. He just likes, cracking locks. Speaking of lock picking, man, dude, the deadbolt here is garbage. I got into under 30 seconds. It was like, I couldn't believe it, how quick. Because I usually don't mess with, locks that are on doors and stuff. But I did this one back lock thing, and I could not believe how quickly I got in. It was like under 30 seconds, and it just moved. I was like, holy crap, that should not be that easy.
I have yet to do anything with mine.
Yeah, just go get a couple padlocks. I wouldn't practice on any lock that you want to work or to be able to unlock. I ruined, 4 or 5 locks now where the key doesn't even work. It won't. Yeah, you can't do anything with them. But yeah, it's a fun. It felt so cool picking that lock. Cammy couldn't believe it, how quickly I got into that one.
Yeah, that's a little scary.
But yeah, once I started picking locks, I realized that locks aren't meant to keep bad people out. They're just meant to keep good people honest. And if a bad person really wants to get in, there's a window right next to the lock, piece of glass. Bricks go right through that, no problem. So yeah, that's why I'm such a big advocate for the Second Amendment and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, if anybody's interested in picking locks, I learned from a gentleman named Bosnian Bill. Now, he passed away a couple years ago, but I believe his stuff is still on YouTube. And his partner, the Lock Picking Lawyer, is also another great channel. But Bosnian Bill, he had a playlist for beginners and this PDF that just taught you everything about how locks work, like inside the whole mechanism and what's actually going on in there. And once you read through that PDF and you understand what's going on inside of a lock, it is very simple. And then it's just a little bit of practice. But yeah, the Lock Picking Lawyer, I love that guy. There would be, and it's funny because professional lockpicks or locksmiths, most of them don't pick locks. They'll go and drill it out just because it's, it costs more to replace the lock for somebody. They're trying to sell you a lock. Just getting into your house, that's, But most of them don't even work on picking locks anymore. It's not like it used to be back in the day. Most of them will just come with a drill, get you in, and then replace your whole lock for you. They don't work cheap either. But yeah, he's had a couple different locksmiths send him in stuff saying, you can't pick this, blah, blah, blah. I bet you $100, blah, blah, blah. And so he'll show himself cutting it open and everything. He'll have it done under 30 seconds. Easy. Yeah, it is. It's a really neat skill to have. And when you do get to use it, it feels like Christmas almost. Picking a new lock is so cool. Yeah, it makes me go hee 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 like that.
Little duper's delight, huh? Just
yeah, it really is. It's like I just did that. I'm not supposed to, but I did it.
Uh-huh. Well, according to the clock I've got on my screen right now, we've got about 90 seconds till we hit the break, or 90 seconds till we hear break music. You never can quite tell exactly what this timer counts down to and when sometimes. But we should be coming up towards the end of the first half of the second half. Any minute now. I saw Nachiketa in chat asking if I wanted him to come on to help fill time. And I mean, not necessarily. I would love for you to come on and just chill and hang out. But that happens whether Walt's here or Walt's gone or what. Just because you're always a great friend to have come hang out and talk to. So if you feel inclined to hop on, again, that invitation is always open. I love to see people just sneak in the back door and surprise me every now and again. That's good stuff. Then I saw Laura in chat talking about the baby bunny in her front yard. That's awesome. I had a couple little...
Yeah, I'll be joining in just a little bit here. I'm trying to actually write my own code right now. So it's ironic that you were talking about that.
Huh.
I'm here as well.
Sweet.
Thanks for having me on.
No, anytime, Notch. Glad you made it. And I do believe we will have break music soon. Like, I don't know. I really, it's hard to say these days. You know, again, not even realizing it was Tuesday till the last minute last night. Woke up, had to update OBS, which I think threw off all my audio drivers, so that when I started the call finally, I couldn't hear anything. I had no audio coming in, no audio going out, so I had to stop and restart the whole damn thing and start from scratch, which then made me late and running behind and not getting things set up the way I prefer to have it done. But that's all right. We're here. We made it.
We made it.
And I'm assuming I talked over the music because I didn't hear anything, but it sure looks like we're either at break or music is playing now. So we'll be right back after these brief messages. Well, shit. Now there's not even any commercials playing. It's probably because I had to restart and took too long and it threw TFR off too. Probably kicked in the silence detector. And then when I did log in, it threw everything off. Ain't that the way? So now I'm not sure if I'm talking over commercials on TFR. And it's just because I don't hear them. Or did I really kind of break the show on TFR? And that's why there's no commercial. Oh, that'd be nice. That's a good idea. I guess you could actually check live.
Is regretting
Commercials.
I think there are a lot of people that have dreams and aspirations of things that they always wanted to do, but it wasn't the right time, or they didn't have enough money, or they didn't have enough experience. It's never the right time. You're never going to have the right experience. And all of a sudden you wake up and you're 70. And you're like, God, I wish I could have done it.
It's what you don't do that screws with you later on.
I get one shot at this life. This is it. And I don't want to go through life being the 80% version of me. I don't want to look back and be like 77 and be like, I didn't do that. There's so much I want to do, and I love life so much. I don't want to miss it.
Discover the extraordinary powers of intuitive healing with pain transmutation. a method of holistic healing for the human soul, body, mind, and emotions. If you are looking for answers and a deep understanding of how to help yourself and the people around you to live a happier, healthier life, this is the right place for you. Learn how to read your soul's history in the Akashic Records. Remove negative energy attachments from your astral body and start the process of inner and outer pain transmutation. Join Pain Transmutation Community to get started on the path of intuitive healing. Change your energetic state. Manifest new and exciting experiences. Re-energize your life and build inspiring connections with others in our community.
For 5,000 years, the world was ruled with wooden ships by one man. 242 years ago, a small group of free men crafted a new nation built on liberty and freedom. Global elites have been fighting to destroy this new nation called America ever since. Based on actual events, Charm of Favor tells a true story of how they corrupted the election system. They infiltrated federal agencies and murdered witnesses, judges, and even presidents to keep from being caught. Now, the largest and wealthiest crime syndicate the world has ever known has been drawn out of the shadows. They have killed hundreds of Americans and recently attempted to assassinate half our congressmen. Still, they escape arrest through an almost supernatural charm of favor. Read Charm of Favor and be prepared to open your eyes to what may lie just around the corner. Charm of Favor is available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
No hate, no hype, no fear. We are TFR Frequency Radio.
And we'll just call that a welcome back. I'm pretty sure that was music. The audio is just a little less than it normally is. Still playing, it sounds like, too. So that's good. We'll just call this the second half of the first half of the Ironworks right now, because that's the end of the break music. I recognize that. The fades are gone. The audio's down. It's all right. See, it's not just me this morning. It makes me feel a little bit better. We are joined by our good friends Nachiketa and Andrew B. both. They'll be joining us at their leisure, as everything is done on this show.
Yeah, thanks for having me here and Andrew. And I hope you guys are doing well. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Happy Tuesday.
It is Tuesday, my dudes.
And I have no idea where that's from.
It sounds like Douglas to me.
It does sound like Douglas. It's got that sort of northern slant to it. But I had this one.
It's Friday, my dudes.
No idea where that's from either. But I liked it. Worked for a Friday show. I thought, hey, maybe it'll work for a Tuesday show. I wonder if they got anything for a Tuesday. And this is the one they had.
It is Tuesday, my dudes.
No idea. No clue.
So I'm going through a list. 10 things you will find in your home that NASA helped create or invent. Water filters.
Wait.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. It goes on to say, well, they didn't actually invent them. They just made them better. Microprocessor.
Did they make him better? Really?
Yeah, that's what they claim. Well, you have to be on the moon to notice, so. Yeah.
You have to be on ISS to know that the water filter is actually working when you're pissing into them toilets, and then it's filtering it back, and you can swash it around and make sure everything's all right.
Have you ever seen that one comedian doing the water filter, NASA water filter?
Yes.
He just keeps drinking it. God, it tastes like piss. It's just piss, all right?
Yeah. I did see that. Yeah.
Then they say microprocessors, and they didn't technically invent the integrated circuit. They just made that one better too. So we're 0 for 2 starting off. And then these are things you find in your house. Guess what the next one is? Crash helmets. You have a lot of crash helmets laying around your house?
Yeah, why wouldn't you? I mean, everybody needs one of those. You never know when you're going to fall off of a balcony. You got to have that crashed helmet on all the time.
Have you seen the number of strange objects just falling out of the sky? Meteorites. Meteorites are a real threat, don't you know? Space rocks could kill you.
That's right.
Remember that one lady? She almost died. Just think how much safer she would have been had she been wearing a crash helmet.
I feel so much safer at night sleeping with my crash helmet on, guys. I highly recommend it.
And what about those old-time football players? What would you call those things, those leather things they wore on top of their heads for when they crashed into each other?
Crash helmet?
You reckon? Well, good thing NASA invented the crash helmet for those football players in the 1920s.
But Josh, it's better, man. It's better.
Oh, so they didn't actually invent the crash helmet. They just made it better. Sweet. All right, 0 for 3. Next.
Yep. Now we're doing cordless tools, which is actually Black & Decker.
Which is actually how tools started. Don't tell me they invented cordless tools.
Well, they invented a cordless zero impact wrench that could spin bolts in zero gravity without spinning the astronaut.
Oh, wow.
Another important tool every guy needs to make sure that they're not spinning themselves.
But does it work underwater, though? I mean, you got to have it working underwater and space at the same time.
Yeah, those underwater pools are tricky when you got power tools.
Mm-hmm.
And they go scratch-resistant lenses. Let's see if they actually did this one. Need to be developed, okay, because of dust and rubble in the space environment. Oh, come on. Now it's frozen on me. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's it. Okay, yeah, so they're claiming due to NASA research, space visors are now coated with diamond-like carbon coatings. Yeah, because everybody's got a space visor at the house.
A diamond-like carbon-coated space helmet visor. Shit, I got like 4 of them. I was going to put 2 of them on Marketplace.
Goes well with your crash helmets. Trust me.
Don't forget your household smoke detector that was actually invented in 1890.
By NASA?
No, by Francis Robbins Upton. But it wasn't adjustable until NASA invented a model with variable sensitivity. Because, your house might be on fire just a little bit. And you might really not want the alarm to go off. So they made it so you could turn the sensitivity up.
I hate it. Yeah, like I hate it when it goes off and then my house is just slightly on fire rather than just like full ablaze. That's when I want my fire alarm to go off, right?
Well,
yeah, I mean, a small fire. Oh, come on.
They're not even smoke detectors. Smoke detector doesn't detect smoke.
No, it detects a drop in current. Sets off the alarm.
It's like an oxygen sensor is all it is.
It's an oxygen sensor.
Yeah, it measures the oxygen, and if there's something, it doesn't matter what. This is why vape can set off a smoke detector, even though vape isn't smoke. It's like, oh shit, well, there's a lot less oxygen here than there was just a few seconds ago. There must be something in the air, must be smoke. We'll set off the alarm. That's why I just don't think that NASA invented oxygen sensors, but I might be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be 1 for 5? Maybe, not even. Because I don't think that NASA invented scratch-resistant coatings either. maybe in
So-
person.
Satellite television, 1962. I don't think that satellites are sending. They said the first satellite capable of relaying TV signals. You mean like all the wires underneath the ocean? Like those signals? Yeah, satellite TV, which, okay. We're just going to put a 0 there because that's nonsense. Now, this has got to be BS. Shoe insoles. One of the most notable inventions NASA included in its spacesuits was a special 3D spacer material in the boot for cushioning and ventilation.
That no one had thought of prior? What was going in people's shoes prior to NASA?
Was it just like the Flintstones? You were barefoot underneath there?
Just little pieces of leather that cover the tops of your feet?
Oh, they're saying it. They didn't invent it, but they were the first to use Teflon-coated glass fiber cloth. 25 alternating layers of Kapton film to form an efficient lightweight thermal insulation. Blah, 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 blah.
So I knew this one guy. Never mind. There was a joke about homeless people in newspapers, but you know, whatever. You're right. Good job, NASA. Didn't invent that one either. You just
modern
stuck
golf
random
ball,
shit in your shoes. Called it an
the
invention.
modern golf ball dimples. 1981. So thanks, NASA. I'm glad that we can hit golf balls further. That really helped the human race.
Well, what did the retro golf ball dimples look like?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a golf ball that was made before 81.
And if that's all it takes to create an invention was just sticking the word modern in front of it.
So what kind of golf balls do they claim were brought up during the fake moon landings? Did they not have dimples on them?
Yeah, must not have, because this was 81 when they did this.
The retro dimples. In 81,
Yep.
they only invented the modern golf ball dimple.
So there was already a dimple.
Apparently. Otherwise, why need to specify modern? It's like there was something that was already there that somebody had already created, and they just changed it and said, hey, look what we did. What are they, 0 for 7? Come on.
Yeah, they changed the size of the dimple.
Wow, what an invention.
That's with medium-sized dimples that created both high lift and increased gliding potential. Good Lord.
Because those people that put the dimples on the golf ball just never thought to go one size bigger. They stopped there and said, well, fuck, I guess this is it.
Now this one, okay. I don't know if they actually did it, but I've used this a lot. A joystick. Oh, nope. As with smoke detectors, joysticks already existed before NASA.
Is Velcro on that list?
I'm waiting for it. So, digital joystick and thumbstick technology we see in cars, planes, and video game control pads. But like everything else on this list, NASA did not invent it. No, they did not put. Wow, that was the end of the list.
That was
so NASA is no longer.
Thanks, NASA. Thanks, NASA, for the joysticks.
They're no longer taking claim for Velcro.
Or Tang.
Yeah, I thought Tang would be in the list. On the list there.
What about?
Every time I hear Tang, it reminds me of Coneheads when they're like, astronauts to the moon.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm always reminded of that 70s show. Just off the top of my head, once we got the CIA to bring back our German scientists, Well, half of them, we in Russia need to split them down the middle. But once we got our half, and they said, wow, those rockets you guys were sending places, pretty amazing. You think you could invent some sort of rocket ship that could go up into space? And they said, I think we can do it. How is the rover to Mars, their Mars helicopter, the space shuttle, how is all this shit not on their list? How is it a list of 0 for 10 of things they invented while they completely overlook all the things they could absolutely at least claim they invented?
Yeah, they're trying to say these were things in your home. But
right, like my diamond light carbon coated space visor
to go on your crash test helmet.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was.
You're not saying that NASA lies or embellishes. I mean, that's not what you guys are saying, right?
No, not this time, but they absolutely do.
I'm saying this author's garbage. Whoever wrote this article needs to be bitch slapped a few times.
Well, what's interesting? I was just looking it up. Did NASA invent CGI? And apparently...
Yeah, can someone send a software update to my car so it can last another 15 years? Have you heard about that?
The very first CGI film
sent
was
a software update to Voyager, I think.
And
NASA was formed in 1958, the same year CGI came out.
You said Alfred Hitchcock was the first CGI movie?
Yeah, Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo movie in 1958.
In 1958, huh? I wonder what kind of computer he was using.
Really big one.
Apparently, that's all there were.
I've never seen one of those computers. I'm sure they existed and all that kind of stuff, but I've never seen like a building-sized computer.
Well, they were called mainframe computers, so they didn't really work the same, anywhere close to what we have now. And it took like a team of people to operate them. And they weren't like the size of a building. They were the size of like a large room, and they just lined the walls everywhere.
Wasn't it tubes, a bunch of tubes that shot light signals through them?
I wasn't alive back then, so I don't know all the details.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't actual like electronic impulses being sent through wires. They had actual tubes with lights and sensors, and they would send a light through the tube instead of an electrical impulse. I believe. Don't hold me to that.
Well,
Remember the same thing as our televisions. We're back.
They didn't even use CPUs or RAM. They didn't have operating systems.
It's crazy to think like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the invention or the idea of is old. How a computer works and actually does its stuff. I mean, that's like 1820s, something like that, is when this idea was, and that was when the first computer was built. And it was fully mechanical. There was no, there was no electronic parts. It was a fully mechanical, kind of like the Antikythera mechanism.
I was just going to bring that up, yeah.
Same type of, but the way that we the computer sends information within itself hasn't really changed. Now, how we send the information has changed, but the whole, what's the word? I forget. I can't even think of it, but like the whole idea of how computers works hasn't really changed at all. Going on almost 200 years now. That's wild.
Like this binary, like programming type thing? Is that what you're talking about, Zach? Like zeros and ones?
I'm not sure when binary came around. That, yeah. I'm not really sure.
Have you seen these like old like toys or inventions that people made back in like 17 and 1800s? And there's one where it's like a little boy and he can write, and he has like really great cursive writing, and then you like slide in discs and it will be able to write, like by hand. It's just amazing the kind of stuff that people came up with, that wasn't like robotic or anything, but it's just like how they were able to invent this. It's like, it's really beyond me.
Yeah, the watches really get me. How
Yeah.
people made all those watches back in the day. It's so hard to imagine shaving and cutting a gear by hand. Doing that by hand. They're so small and intricate, and yeah, I'm not saying it's beyond the realms of humans, because we obviously have been doing it. But it makes me think that there was some kind of technology back in the day that we lost, and then people started. I just can't see someone wanting to make something that small and put. I mean, how much did these timepieces cost back in the day when we didn't have all the machines to?
A lot. A fortune.
It had to be a fortune.
Yeah.
It would take you so long just to make one.
Yeah.
And watchmakers are I'm not going to say weird people, but they have like their own. Yeah, they're different. Watchmakers are different types of people. There's a local one here that I go and take my watches to, and my neighbor knows him real well. She introduced me to him. But yeah, like when a watchmaker is like working on something, you don't want you in the room seeing what they're doing. Like,
well, it takes a lot of focus, right, and concentration. You don't want to be distracted, and
there's little
you got to be like
tricks to the
OCD a little
trade.
bit.
Yeah, there's little tricks to it as well, and they all have their own. Yeah, it's wild. It's like their own type of like computer programming almost. Andrew could probably attest to this. I mean, it's not like everybody writes the same type of code. You can write a code that, it starts here and then the end process does this. Well, you can write that code, 50 different ways and come up with that end process still.
Yeah, I'm still writing it. I'm getting a syntax error, so I'm trying to figure out how to fix this. But the assignment is to write a grocery list in Python that has a return value on it, so like a loop return. And I'm looking at my classmates that have written this as well, and yeah, everyone is doing it differently, but it ultimately comes out with the same result.
Did you try ChatGPT? I know they write Python script.
Yeah, I'm not going to cheat though. I need to learn.
Why don't you, Andrew? Why don't you cheat? Everybody else is going to cheat, man.
I'm not saying
unfortunate
use
thing,
it.
but
don't turn it in. But you could at least have a nice example of what one should look like. Of all those 50 ways, here's one example.
Yeah, but if it comes to actually troubleshooting the code, you have to know how to actually write it without cheating.
Yep. And that's the important part. See, you can tell Andrew B is a flat earther.
Yeah.
He wants to know how it works. He wants
the binary code was written in the 1600s.
Wow.
1646 is what I'm getting.
Yeah, Jaron learned binary at like 4.
Oh yeah, binary is pretty easy though. It's just ones and zeros.
But yeah, but still, it's 4.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. And that's a really important thing that you were bringing up earlier about how he learned how to do that at a young age. Like, for example, some of the best chess players in the world learned how to play chess before they could really even like ride a bike.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's why they're good at doing that.
Yeah, children can learn just about anything. People say, "Oh, that's too complicated for a child to learn." Dude, they're like sponges. At that young age, it's like almost anything you tell them will stick. And Jaron, he was like 4 years old. He asked Bob, how do computers do math? And it's complicated. It's, it took him 4 hours to explain it to Jaron. But Jaron knows how computers do math now. He's never had to tell him again. It stuck. It sank in.
Yeah, that's something also very interesting is that I didn't know this, but when I was in a college course, I don't know, maybe 12 years ago, we had a fairly old professor, and he was talking about how when he was in school, they didn't have calculators, but all of a sudden when calculators came out, they were super expensive and they were the size of a textbook. And he tried to explain to us how they work. And I'm like, holy shit, that's weird. But
yeah, it's wild how computers add stuff up and everything.
I mean, they're just tools. They had these abacus, things in the past to help you calculate.
Abacus. Yeah, the Egyptian counting by 12s.
Mm-hmm.
That if you can do that, I need to look into that again and start practicing that. But you can do like long division in your head with one of those abacus if you have it down. Yeah, those things are amazing. And these are all things we could have learned at a very young age. And it would just be like ingrained. That's why I think multiplication tables are so important.
Mm-hmm.
Just learn them. I mean, the way that they're teaching math now, draw 7 circles with 8 circles in each one. What is that?
yeah, if you want to learn math,
56. Come on.
The world record holder for the world's fastest human calculator, his name is Scott Flansburgh, and he goes around the world teaching kids how to do math like in really easy ways that is way different than how it's taught in school. And he's making people way better at math than school would ever teach them.
Yeah, there are these tricks that you can do, like I don't remember exactly what, but like how you multiply or how you divide. There are other tricks than the way we were taught, to get to that answer in a different way, right? And maybe some people can memorize that a little better,
Yeah, and there's a lot of really great YouTube channels with people that teach you how to do all these different tricks in math and stuff. And like one of them is how to multiply times 5, like really easy in your head. It's freaking weird how it works, but it works.
Out of the 10 numbers, 1 through 10 or 0 through 9, however you want to look at it, there's only one of them that isn't divisible by 360. Or that
Probably
doesn't
7.
go into 360. Yeah, 7. Cammie and I were looking into why they use 360 degrees instead of 100 degrees or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it all has to do with that multiples of 12.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because it makes everything so much easier. You can go down to eighths and quarters and thirds and all this stuff. Yep. The only one that doesn't really fit is the 7.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
7 is also, I was on one stream, I can't remember what it was. We were talking about that.
My name is Ella.
Yep.
I'm 10 years old. I'm one of the millions of children born to parents suffering from the sheeple virus. Symptoms include the inability to think for oneself, the attention span of a goldfish, and a strong belief in government and the mainstream media. It is estimated that 1 out of every 2 children are being raised by parents infected with the sheeple virus. But there is a cure. For as little as 19 cents per day, you can become a TFR supporter and help children like me get their daily dose of truth. Together, we will make sure every child has protection from deception.
The county has refused to produce the network routers. We want the routers, Sonny. The county refused to produce the network routers. Wendy, we gotta get those routers, please. The routers. Come on, Kelly, we can get those routers. Those routers. Oh, if you got those routers, what that will show. And they don't want to give up the routers. They are fighting like hell. Why are these commissioners fighting not to give the routers? How simple could it be? That will tell the truth. And they don't want to give up the routers. What are they trying to hide? And I say it, and I'll say it, because the easiest way of cheating is to throw them away. That's easier. The county has refused to produce the network routers. We want the routers, Sonny. The county refused to produce the network routers. Wendy, we gotta get those routers, please. It's so unfair. It's so unfair. It's so ridiculous. I'll be honest though. Look, we all like to win. If I lost this election, I could handle it pretty easily. Running 24, sir. You're going to win. And I say, wait a minute. I just won 6 months ago. The big lie, they call it. Those guns are unproven. And knowing what happened in the election is a good thing, not a bad thing. It's a good thing, not a bad thing. It's a good thing. The county has refused to produce the network routers. We want the routers, Sonny. The county refused to produce the network routers. Wendy, we gotta get those routers, please. If you think about everything about cancel culture, they want cancel culture. But what they don't want to do is anything having to do with the 2020 election. We have no press. We have no voice. They almost got away with it. They may have gotten away with it. And I've got to tell you, I've got to say this. I've never said it before, but I've always thought it. I get along with Putin because that's a good thing, not a bad thing. The county has refused to produce.
Wherever you are, make it see. Frequency Radio.
Good morning. I'm here. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up! Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The Earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there. So what one? There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zack. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zack, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the planet. To the show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to The Ironworx with Zack, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
You have stolen my dreams, my childhood.
Come on, man.
And welcome back to the first half of the second half of the Ironworx, right here at Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com, and other places too. But I see we still got people rolling in here.
Howdy.
Howdy, Trav. How you doing?
Hey.
Howdy.
How's my Bluetooth? Is it okay?
Yeah, it's good.
Not too
Sounds
shabby.
good to me.
You got the sultry sound of my voice coming through?
The sultry sound. Travis Finley. What's up, Trav? How was your weekend, man?
Oh, it was fantastic. I went back to Milwaukee, and my buddy was going on a spiritual retreat for himself. He goes to a monastery for their worship and prayers, and so he was doing that, and I was hanging around just reading and doing my own thing. And then yesterday I closed off by going out to Lake Michigan, and it was absolutely amazing conditions. And I'm gonna try to make the video as poignant as possible, but I ultimately had another like spiritual experience because the way I felt when I walked away was like I had peered into the throne room of God. It was just so amazing. It was just such an incredible experience, zooming out onto the horizon, and it just kept going, and it was just fucking amazing.
You're from Wisconsin, Travis?
No, I drove there. I'm driving back to Maryland right now. I got 6 hours to go.
Oh my God.
You like nighttime driving better, Trav?
No me importa. It's I could go at six to 1 half dozen. Depends on how tired I am, I guess.
Yeah, I guess driving that many years, it really doesn't matter day or night to you, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer not to drive overnight. Like, I'll drive till midnight or whatever, but I really don't want to drive all the way through the night. To me, that's crazy. Like, why I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I did that a couple times on Walkabout where I'd leave at like, I don't know, 9 in the afternoon, 8 in the afternoon, and then get there about, yeah, I didn't enjoy it though. It wasn't, because I was driving across country to see stuff.
Right.
And at night,
Right.
you
Yeah.
don't really see a whole lot at night.
Yeah, I drove through. Yeah, on one of my drives back east from California, I went through the best part of Utah at like at 3 in the morning. I'm like, I can't see anything. This sucks. But anyway, yeah. So I think it should be good. It was pretty amazing. Like, okay, I'll give you a little bit of a teaser. So I had a sailboat that was just right in front of the horizon, and it was in shadow because of the position of the sun and whatnot. So, but you could see the sail and you could see and make out the hull. And so I was like, oh, I'll just camp here. And it just kept going. It just kept going away from me. I mean, and you knew that it was far as fuck, right? You knew it was so far away. And then I back out and I would show you what you couldn't see with your naked eye. Like, you can't see this. You cannot see this boat with your naked eye. And then I just zoom in and it's just right there. And then so then you're seeing as far as you can see anyway. And there's no mirage. There's no nothing. But at one point, as it's going away from you, it crosses that threshold and it eventually gets into an inferior mirage at like this crazy massive distance. And I was like, holy fuck. Because I was talking to the camera. I'm like, these conditions are great. I'm seeing really far. There's no miraging, da 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 da. And then the boat gets to that point far enough away and it's in a mirage and it just keeps getting smaller and smaller. Anyway, some people are like, yeah, so what did you do? But man, that's my niche, man. It was just amazing.
Do you have infrared like capabilities, Travis?
Not on
oh
the
my
cameras
gosh.
that not on the cameras that I have. I mean, all I did was this weekend I actually upgraded a bit. I bought some really high end polarization filters, and actually I think that helped tremendously. I don't think I would have been able to see as far if I hadn't had the filters. It would have been washed out earlier on.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, when you have you ever tried using the sun as your backdrop?
Well, yeah, I mean,
anything like that?
ultimately, yeah, I mean, that would be ideal in certain situations. You just have to be in the right place. You know, you've got to have the lake. You've got to be on the east side of the lake or whatever, the body of water or whatever it is, so that the sun's on the backdrop there. Because where I was in Wisconsin, when I was in Milwaukee, I would have been looking out toward just tree lines and whatnot, so it wouldn't have been as profound, I don't think. Because the tree lines are too close. You know what I mean? The tree lines are too close to me. They have too much elevation, so then it wouldn't have been the ideal situation as maybe getting a cityscape across Lake Michigan in a backdrop. I mean, that would be good.
Yeah, I know on April 20th from Michigan City, Indiana, the sun sets right behind Chicago on that day.
Oh, you said April 20th?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I got to wait a whole other
So right now you would be further north up the, you have to go further north up the Michigan coastline.
Yeah, to get the angle.
I'm pretty sure they have there's a chart that'll tell you where you go, like what beach you go to, and on this day, Chicago will be right behind it.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's a big thing. When I was there back in 2016, maybe it was 2017, there was like 20 people out there with cameras, and I just happened to show up that day because the humidity was real low. And as I was heading back to the vehicle, the guy told me, "Oh, dude, are you here to take pictures of the sun setting behind Chicago?" I was like, "No, is that today?" He's like, "Yeah." And then I walked up the boardwalk, and there was like 20 people already all set up.
You found their favorite fishing hole, so to speak, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they said they go up and down the coast, though. A lot of them will go up and down the coast of Lake Michigan and get Chicago background from different places.
Well, then what you've got there then is you've got these 20 Joshua Nowickies with all of this evidence, and they don't even know what they're sitting on.
Yeah.
Trim,
I know it.
Your Bluetooth seems to be getting increasingly worse.
Okay.
I'm getting a whole lot of engine noise.
Okay.
It's picking up a lot of that background. Yeah, that's actually considerably better.
There we go.
It's crazy. It just seemed to slowly get louder and louder and louder.
There we go.
What is the world record? It's like 275 miles for like the longest photo. But I thought there was another one where they took a video from Israel to was that Crete Islands, and that was even further.
Miles, I believe it was. Now I'm not 100% certain that that's what that was. I mean, it looked like it, but I don't know. I'd like to see someone do the Rob Skiba, Rick Hummer, and leave the Isle of Crete and head towards Israel with the camera on the mountain range the whole time. But I mean, that was like the perfect timing because he had the sun setting behind it. You know, I don't know if a Rob Skiba, Rick Hummer type test could be done and keep Crete in your view for 600 miles. That's, I don't know.
You need a boat.
I just saw one over the weekend. Taboo released another one where he said it was 700 miles now. And this is from England, a point in northwestern England, a mountain range there that can see the Alps, the Himalayan mountains.
What?
Or not the Alps, but the Himalayas. You could see the Himalayan mountains from this spot in England. And it's really
no, that's got to be more than 700 miles, though, man. I mean, the Himalayas is like thousands. Oh, it's got to be several thousand miles away from England. No,
I would think.
You're talking about
the Himalayas, the Alps.
Oh, okay, the Alps. Okay.
You're probably conflating because you said Himalayan Alps, and the Alps are in Switzerland.
Wales to the
Right.
Alps. Yeah, it was the Alps.
Yeah, the Alps. Okay. I
Yeah.
was like, Himalayas. I'll wave my hand.
Do you see me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they sometimes call the Swiss Alps the Swiss Himalayas too, don't they?
Do
I'm
they?
not sure.
If not, they should.
I think I have heard that go back and forth. I've heard it both ways.
Yeah, they're claiming they can see the snow-covered tops of the Alps, different peaks. And again, here they kind of look like clouds to me.
Right.
But he pulled out a bunch of different peaks, and they kind of like I don't know. That's pretty far to me.
Yeah, Troubling Tribune actually just had Ruhif on again last night for his True Fate or True Earth debate. And Ruhif seems to be going on to Google Earth and putting in the azimuth angles and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, no, that's not correct. And I think Ruhif might actually be correct on that. I'm not sure if they're actually looking at the correct thing. But could be. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead. No, I was just going to say, like there must be some like limitation, even with infrared, with all the technology, like how far you can visibly be able to see. There must be some limit. You know, it can't go forever. There must be other factors.
That's the thing that I was going to say in terms of even where I was shooting yesterday. So when I was, I don't know, it's been a couple of years, but BMLSB let me use his infrared when I was in California. And the one thing that I found out, while it can cut out the polarization, it cannot cut through refraction. If you've got a mirage out there, you will not pass through it. And so if you have conditions where you see great distances, there's going to be a point at which, at whatever freaking distance you want to calculate it to be, or whatever, at a certain point, at that focal point, the refraction is going to be so obtuse that you won't be able to cut through it at that distance. But everything up to that point, you're going to be able to have the polarization, do what you need it to.
Yeah, I mean, we already have a couple 100 miles. We already have over 100 miles. We already have 50 miles. I mean, we only need that to show that it's not a globe.
Yeah,
already.
we can do it at 10 miles.
Yeah, 10 miles is fine. Yeah, 1 mile even at like 1 inch off the ground or whatever, 2 inches off the ground.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is neat though, seeing people stretch the limits as far as they possibly can. But again, we have to take it with a grain of salt until all this stuff is verified 100%, redone again.
Yep.
Yeah. But again, we don't need it, but it is neat to see. I mean, I love seeing more and more people out there just looking around. I mean, that's
make it like a contest, like who can capture the longest photo from one distance to another, and then and do that. It's like the longest sniper shot, like that's okay,
Yeah, I don't remember who did it, but maybe it was Flat Earth Banjo when he was up in an airplane at like 25,000 feet, and he was looking out at a mountain range. It was supposedly like 1,000 miles away or something, and you could see like the area behind it. So it wasn't refraction causing that. You could see like the entire area. And according to the globe calculator, that should have been hidden by several miles of curvature, even at the altitude the airplane was at.
Oh yeah, but you have to understand that as far as I understand what Andrew Thomas Young has written, the standard atmosphere is always looming, and looming flattens the curve so that you end up seeing. So, okay, let me try to say it this way, because I made a video about this. So if you have an observation that, like if you Google Superior Mirage or boat floating in air, right? You'll get all these videos or all these pictures where you seem to have a boat that is separated from the water and it looks like it's floating in the air. So that's not looming, because looming, you can see the entire floor all the way to the target. There's no gap. Okay, if that makes any sense. Does that make any sense up to this point?
Can you say that again? I'm sorry, Trav. I was
Yeah. I kind of lost that as well.
Yeah, it's a bit abstract, so forgive me. So, okay, look, let's just pretend that you have a boat out on the water, and you can see directly to the boat. You see all the water, and you see all of the boat, right? There's nothing missing. It's right there. And then let's say one day you go out and you don't see an island, and then the next day you do see the island. Well, if you took a picture of that, apparently you would think to yourself, well, I'm just looking straight across the water to the island. Nothing's missing. The floor. I mean, the floor is like the surface of the water. That's what I mean by floor. You've got the ceiling, which is the sky, the floor, which is the water. Those are the only two things in your field of view is sky and water. And then one day on that same place where you're out in the water, there's an island that wasn't there yesterday. Where did it come from? Well, it's being loomed up from around the curve, according to them. But you're always going to see directly ahead because nothing from the floor is missing. You'll see water all the way up to the island. And so what the science says is that standard refraction is always looming. Standard refraction is always looming. It's never not there. And it seems to just make the curve disappear in layman's terms. It flattens.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
The curve.
I mean, we can get rid of refraction with a red and a blue light. You put a red and a blue light up, and if they're at the same level, then refraction is not affecting what you're seeing.
Right.
Because red refracts further more than blue.
Yeah, you've said that before. That'll be something worth taking a look at. If I could get somebody to come out to the Chesapeake Bay with me, it just takes me a half an hour to drive around to the other side, and I got 6 miles, and we can mess around with that stuff at that point.
Yeah, I mean, they're always going to have, they're always going to say something. Oh, it's doing it because of this.
Yeah, well, at that point, if you're having a serious, honest discussion, I would say, is that your opinion, or do you have a citation for that? Because you need to prove what you're claiming. If you're saying, oh, well, it's this, I'm like, are you just making that shit up off the top of your head, like it's just ad hoc?
Yeah. Back in the day when I was looking into refraction, because I had figured out the whole angular resolution limit, now I wanted to throw the atmosphere into it, my equation. And I learned real quickly that, yeah, that's most likely impossible. You can't determine what the atmosphere is doing within 10 miles,
Right.
That 10-mile span. There's a lot going on in the atmosphere between you and whatever you're looking at.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. So like it's not even they don't even have this information out there. Like I just found the American Meteorological Society, and honestly their baseline definitions for what they classify as refraction, which is basically the standard stuff, looming, sinking, towering, all that stuff, and mirage, whatever. To me, the American Meteorological Society has really the clearest, simplest concept for someone to read and understand. Like I would say, go here to get an idea as to what refraction is. Don't go anywhere else. It's too technical. It's not clear. However, all of that to say, I still had problems with the insufficient information that they were giving. It was still too ambiguous. But what's really interesting about this is that they have a tab where you can make suggestions for editorial corrections. And I'm going to have to make almost like 30, well, I don't know if it's that much. I'm going to have to make a shit ton of single entries because I did make my entries, but it was all in one fell swoop. And the guy's like, this is too much information. You got to break it down bit by bit. So I've got to take one thing, address it. One thing, address it. It's going to take forever. But at least they're open to and what's funny is it's like, so it says, you know, the first box is, what did we say? And then the next box is, how would you correct it? And then the next box is, where are you getting your information? So what's funny about that is it says, I'm my own source, right? Like, I'm my citation. Like, you're not going to get this information anywhere else. Like, I'm the one who's going to give you this information. It's like, you got to go with me or not at all.
Yeah, it's one of those things where they're always going to have that, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. That's one of the reasons I got off of the long distance photography after I saw it myself and I did my couple videos and I found the angular resolution limit. I realized that the atmosphere is like one of those fickle mistresses. Trying to figure it out, it's going to take a long, long time. And doing stuff like you, Trav, where you're out there every day and constantly thinking, this is like in the forefront of your brain, probably most of the time, I would guess.
Yeah. Yeah, but what I was trying to say, just real quick, what I was trying to say earlier about the American Meteorological Society is that the stuff that we're talking about in this platform right now is stuff that's not in the literature, right? Like, it's like we're talking about this in a way that the literature isn't even talking about it. So either we know something they don't, or they're deliberately not addressing things, because if they did, people would be able to put shit together themselves and be like, okay, wait a minute.
Well, yeah, I bet most of them are just taught that way. I doubt.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I doubt they're like hiding anything purposefully.
Well, no, I would agree with that. I think your Mrs. Smith fourth grade teacher is not, but I'm saying the people who originally wrote the book.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
They only released certain amounts of information, and then even then they couched it in mystery and equation.
Yeah, they hide it in another language, like they do with everything: electricity, gemology. I mean, you pick it, any field of specialization, there's like another language you learn on top of the English language to be able to study in that field and actually read the books and know what they mean.
Yeah, well, that's where Andrew Thomas Young told me to take a hike. He's like, if you don't understand trigonometry, I'm like, why do I need to know another language? I'm using my words to tell you what's happening. Why do I have to couch it in? He's like, you have to. He was like so gung ho, like you need trigonometry, otherwise you won't know what you're talking about.
Well, that about does it for this segment, I think, Josh.
Yeah, it's real close.
We got to be getting real close.
I mean, technically it says we're on the break, but
boom, boom, ba-doom.
Yeah, I don't hear the music as of yet, and may not hear anything till the break starts. So I'll just kind of.
Hello. This is we miss you, Walt. Gotta say that. Love you, Walter. Hope you're doing all right.
Enjoying your sleep.
Where is Walt? Is he just sleeping? Sleeping in?
Yeah, with our 3-day weekend we had here, we had, what was it, Memorial Day, I guess? So most people were off of work yesterday and just
buy this car, you'll get girls.
The schedule off.
Buy this bra, you'll get guys.
Okay.
And we're seeing it so much that we start believing these lies. But the truth is, the makeup they're selling to make you feel prettier is the same makeup you buy to stop feeling shittier about this lie they keep telling you that you are not enough. And what about the movies we watch, all the shows on TV? The more I watch, the more I see I need you to complete me. And yes, love is the answer, love is the key, but if you can't love yourself, how could you ever love me? And loving yourself, what does that even mean? Like massages and selfies and that sort of thing? Because the more I think about it, the more it feels weird. I've always been taught that self-love was something to be feared. I've been taught that arrogance is bad and vanity, it's not good. And even my bracelets are telling me to act how Jesus would. So what should I do?
Extendivite is more than just a heart tonic. Do you have any of these symptoms? Night cramps in the hands and feet. Your arms and legs often go to sleep. On short walks, do your legs get aches and pains? Is your memory worse than it used to be? Ankles that swell late in the day? Has your blood pressure increased lately? If you answered yes to even one of these questions, you may have early warning signs of arterial blockages. Your body is saying that it is time to take Extendivite. These are not the normal signs of aging. They are the warning signs that accompany blocked arteries. Get your Extendivite today. Extendivite is available in capsule or liquid form for just $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To get started, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hey everyone, it's Mark Sargent from Strange World, broadcasting live every Tuesday evening, 10 to 12 Eastern, 7 to 9 Pacific, right here on Truth Frequency Radio. Strange World covers a wide range of topics, from enclosed world theory to lunar waves to the end of the world in film. It's basically doomsday with a silver lining. With the audience as my co-host, we take an optimistic approach to all things conspiracy and promote confidence, hope, and humor whenever possible. If there's a topic you want us to cover or a guest you would like to see interviewed, please email me at msargent23@comcast.net. So please join me and tell your friends about Truth Frequency Radio, the leader in real radio programming, bringing you quality, cutting-edge broadcasts from around the world.
Real people, real radio.
Initiating the truth frequency.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
A wizard is never late. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here. You're listening to Iron Realm Media. I listen all the time, and it's the best truth show out there. Forget about the mainstream lying. Get your weekly dose of iron. Realm, that is. Stay woke, folks.
Best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Wakey, wakey.
And welcome back to the second half, fourth and final segment of the Ironworks. Kicking off right now. And it does feel a little more like the first part of the show.
I know that dude.
Are you sure?
What's up, Walter?
Hey, what's up?
Walter. How are you doing,
Glad
sir?
to see you. I've been better.
Morning, sir.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Yeah, full house here. We got.
I see you do. Hell, I almost just didn't even get in and just listened to the rest of the show, but I miss y'all. So, and
Andrew
I needed to get in
back
here.
there.
Yeah, I've heard the crew as I was waking up a little and trying to go see the cat. So we've had a major. I don't want to disrupt the show, but if y'all really want to know what's going on, I'll get it out, and it might help me.
Yeah, absolutely, Walter. That's what we're here for, man.
Well, first of all, I guess Friday or Saturday, my allergies started, getting seasonal like they normally do, and I take my normal stuff. But by Sunday, it had me knocked down like I was full on nose faucet. Can't even keep a Kleenex long because it's just running both directions, out my nose and down my throat. So there comes the sore throat. And if you have allergies, some years it's worse than others, and apparently this was the one. And it's not just me, because everybody in our little area is talking about it. When Michelle took our granddaughter to the mall Saturday, she was doing the same thing, sneezing every third word. So it's just something here, something just blooming more this year or whatever. I don't know, but it's definitely worse than it's been in a long time. And I always take my honey, local honey. So anyway, so that's been my health crap. And it's really, like I said, it got to the point where I had to start taking Benadryl, which it should just be zombie bill, because that stuff is, that's a tranquilizer for me. So that's that. But last night, or actually 2 nights ago, Sunday night, because of my routine being off and me sleeping so bad with this medicine, sleeping 5 hours here, 3 hours there, an hour there, just trying to heal, I was up at like 1 o'clock. And it was a normal night. Everything was normal in that, Spot is getting better with, he's been better with the kittens. He's not striking them like he used to just because they walk by, and he's not running from them. He's interested in them, sniffing at their butts for a second. And he's getting there. Yeah, Laura, I'm on that local honey, I promise. I just saw it pop up in big bold letters. Thank you so much. Anyway, so the thing that's been frustrating me over the last week leading up to this was Spot's getting more inquisitive. Even the other female, Haley's Cleo, that came back, who was kind of problematic when she came back, has chilled. She's gotten more loving. Everything was good, except for Nacho, the nanny cat, the one who isn't the mama, who thinks she's the mama, is still overprotective. If 1 or 2 cats gets out of her sight, she comes looking. And if they're laying there sleeping by you, she moves them. And it's like, hey, they're doing okay. They're chilling. So she's gotten real manic with her overprotective mamaness. And so anytime Spot does hiss or strike, she goes after him. But she also just goes after him. And I was getting tired of that, because I was just like, come on now, you got to stop. He's not doing anything. He's sitting there minding his own business. You got to stop that. About 2:30, I'm sitting in the living room, and I hear demons in my house loose, screaming at each other. And I get up, run in to see what's going on, thinking the cat's gotten caught up in something or under something. It's it's Nacho, the nanny cat, chasing the mama cat, the kittens, Spot. She's chasing everybody in the house, screaming at the top of her lungs. She goes under the bed after the kittens and the mama. She's defecating everywhere while this is going on. It's like she snapped, like she went into madness. And so I'm trying to figure out what to do to grab her and get her out of the house. She gets under Michelle's tub in her bathroom, and I go get my trench coat and my thick leather gloves on, because I know she's going to tear me apart when I try to reach under there. And dude, when I try to reach under there, I've never seen something like that. It was like holding on to a bundle of live wires.
Demon possessed.
Dude, and I thought I couldn't hold her. I just let go, and she went back under there. And then I realized she had Bender under there with her. So I fucking snagged him out from under there. His heart was going a quadrillion miles an hour. Just so I didn't know what to do. I was freaking out. I got her shut up in Michelle's bathroom. By this time, Michelle's awake, and she's like, "What happened? What happened?" I'm like, "I don't know. She just snapped." And as soon as I cracked the bathroom door to see if she was okay, she flew out under the bed after the other kittens again. So I just went and got a small little tiny broom so I could hold her down enough to not hurt her and get her back of her scruff. And I couldn't. There was no doing it. And I'm at this point, I'm antagonizing her because I'm wearing a weird trench coat. I've got these black leather gloves, and I'm coming after her, and I'm sure she was terrified. But I had to get her out of here. She was, and in the process of me donning the protective gear, she got a hold to Bender and had him down. Michelle said she had to knock her off of him. So at one point, she got close enough to the front door that Michelle got her hemmed in with the stool and her big bag of yarn and crap. And I went around the outside and put food on the steps outside, and we coaxed her out the front door. And so, yeah, I don't know. I've never seen this happen in a cat. I've had cats my whole life, but I've never seen one just go psycho like this. And I mean, I get that at the point that I was coming at her with the coat and all that, she was terrified, and I was a weird looking thing, but that this was going on, for hours. This was like, by the time we got her out the door, it was 7 o'clock. This was like 3 or 4 hours of us trying to keep her from killing everybody. And so she's outside now. And of course, that breaks my heart because she trusted us. Anyway, So now she's meowing under the house.
Oh, Walter. There's got to be something, man. I mean,
I went outside late in the evening because I had put food out and she never really touched it. But then I started hearing her meowing under the house. Well, I had laid down after all that because I'd been up from, being sick, and laid down for about 5 minutes and I heard her under the house. Well, I laid down and passed out essentially because I'd taken some meds. And so I passed out, but I woke up to her under the house meowing pitifully. So I got up and I got food and I went outside and I talked and talked till she finally came out. And I figured she wouldn't even want to be near me because I'm the one that was attacking her in her heart, So she finally came to me and let me pet her, and I got her to eat and told her I was so sorry that it had to be this way, And I told her with my heart and my soul, not just words. I know she don't understand the words, but she understands the heart.
yeah, she knows, Walt. Yeah, maybe it's just too many cats for her, She couldn't take it anymore. I don't know.
Well, the whole way she flipped on.
Yeah, that's weird. Like, usually you would think that.
Well,
from
no, I would
day
say
one.
before that, when she flipped on the whole going from heat to thinking those were her kittens, I knew she was mentally, not quite right. I mean, you can tell when a cat's different mentally. You can tell.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that sucks, man.
Anyway, I wasn't going to get on here and boo-hoo. That wasn't the point. But I was just wanting y'all to know why I wasn't here because I sure needed to be here. And when I finally woke up, my clock went off, but I was wiped. So I just told her I'm not going and turned it off. But when I woke up at like 5:20, I heard her meowing. So I went outside with her. And
Well, Logan Cook in chat's having the same thing. Says
Oh,
his
wait, let me
oldest cat keeps attacking one of their newest rescues, and he doesn't know what to do.
I don't know what to do either, Logan. I wish I could help you, my friend. My solution was not the solution I wanted to use, is to get her away from everybody else. I can't do anything else. We have 6 other cats that she was trying to hurt. And 3 of them are kittens that are not even good 2 months old yet.
And Walt, don't forget, the community is here to help support you.
I know. That's why I got here. That's why I came in the show at this point, because I needed you guys. I really did. Michelle's here and she knows the whole situation, and she's trying to make me understand that, I didn't see what she was doing to Bender. She said, yeah, she was going to kill that cat, Walter. You had to get her out of here. And there was no controlling her. There was no calming her down. It had been going on for 4 hours,
Yeah.
So I put her out and she's there now. And like I said, I went out there in the evening and talked to her and fed her, and she's under the house. It ain't like she's loose in the world, confused. She knows we're here above her. She hears us, but the kittens hear her, and that's kind of been mama to them for the last couple of weeks, 2, 3 weeks, however long this crazy shit's been going on with her nuts. So it's a whole bunch of heartbreak in my house right now. Whole bunch of heartbreak.
Yeah, that does suck, but you want me to change the subject real quick for a little bit of a lighter note for something that's happening?
Yeah, please do. Like I said, I wasn't trying to get in here and bore, but boom.
Well,
kill everybody. I just want y'all to know because y'all are my family.
Yeah, tomorrow night.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Tomorrow night, NASA's UFO task force meets on May 31st, and you can watch it online with its free live stream. So
UFO task force?
I swear it's right on space.com, USO, NASA
Drop
UFO.
that link in this chat, please, man.
They're using the actual UFO.
Yeah,
I thought they were UAPs now.
Well, they're using both.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. UAPs.
Well, here, I'll just read a quick little part of it. The agency will hold a meeting of the Independent Study Group. That's in quotes. It formed nearly a year ago in June 2022 in order to study data released to unidentified anomalous phenomena, which is UAP. A new term that encompasses objects or occurrences in the sky, underwater, or in space that can't immediately be identified. The meeting will mark the first time the group has discussed the results of its UAP investigation in public. The 4-hour meeting will be available to watch online, courtesy of a free live stream on NASA TV beginning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time.
Well, they are hard up for views, aren't they?
Yeah, and the 16-person. I'm skipping down a little bit here. The 16-person study group includes former NASA astronaut Scott Kelly, in addition to a wide variety of experts from academia, the aerospace and aviation industries, and even one science journalist. The team is only studying unclassified data according to a list of frequently asked questions the agency released. And then it just goes on and on.
Now, is there going to be like the chat turned on in this?
No idea.
Because that would be a really fun place to go say hi and let people know about.
Oh my God! Yes, let's do it. Let's bring our whole crew over there and just start.
David
like
just showed up in chat. David, we need a thing sent out on the app to every dad out there.
Right.
We all
Get
want to go.
everybody in there.
NASA's going live with their UFO something or other. What was it again, Andrew?
The UFO Task Force.
Yes. And they're showing it live on YouTube. If they have the chat open, we all need to be there.
We need to have an infiltrator, like somebody who can pretend to be a Globie and well enough to be a moderator on one of those chats. So we can also not ban ourselves or unban ourselves if they're banning us, right? They're blocking us and stuff. So we need to attack them in multiple different directions here. All right. We'll talk about that behind the scenes, guys.
Yeah, I love the idea Austin has with auditing NASA. The thing is, I mean, there's already been a few audits on NASA when, I forget his name, the gentleman, but he'll go up and ask Scott Kelly about bubbles in space and stuff like that.
Justin?
That would be Mr. Justin Harvey, one of our first guests on an Iron Realm Media Live broadcast.
Yeah. Well, when people do things like that, we need to go to all the NASA stuff that we can and ask them about it on their comment sections, like Google Maps. They have, if you go in there, there will be a comment section in there. So we go to the NASA place that he visited, and in the comments down there, hey, what was all this bubbles in space, blah, 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 and just let them all know that there's more than just a handful of people that know this stuff. The First Amendment auditing community does this, and they get change. Like chiefs of police fired, sheriffs removed from office type stuff. They get real change done just by supporting each other in massive numbers.
They're not going to have live chat turned on too either, by the way.
No, I can almost guarantee you.
I'm looking at it right now. It's going to be on
are
their
you?
live stream on their channel. I mean, it's running right now and chat's disabled.
I
can't imagine they're going to disable it. Maybe I'm wrong, but
now of all the places that should have, like, you would think that they would almost have to. That's ours. NASA's that's our website. That's our YouTube channel right there.
Now, see, I'm sure there's got to be
People
another
pay
way.
for that.
Shout out to Austin for auditing NASA. If a public entity can't go through and delete public comments off their Facebook page, what gives them the right to delete the comments from their YouTube channel?
Yeah, they don't have that right.
They are limiting their free speech.
Public
Literally.
forum.
Yep.
Literally, yeah. That is a public forum. We pay for that. We have the right to speak there openly and freely as long as we don't incite violence.
Now, NASA can take down the live stream and not have chats and do it that way, but I don't know that you can just disable the freedom of speech on a public channel, even on a private site. Can't do it on Facebook. Why can you do it on YouTube?
Yeah, they shouldn't be allowed to do that. We should be allowed to redress our grievances.
Yep.
Well, they're probably expecting to have 500,000 people watching at one time, so they probably aren't going to just open up the chat like that. I don't know. Maybe that's their excuse, but I'm not sure.
No, and I seriously doubt they expect to have 500,000 people watching.
Well, I mean, a large amount of people. either way, I thought that would be something interesting to share. And one other thing that Karen was in the chat earlier. I'm not sure if she's still here, but her tickets are going on sale.
Vegas, baby.
Yes, yes. And as soon as it opens up, the website's actually down right now because I guess it's going through like an update or something. But yeah, I'm going to be buying mine as soon as they're available.
Yeah, they went on yesterday.
Do we have any idea? Do we have any idea what the projected numbers are going to be? I would think that because it's in Vegas, I would think that we're this far along in the trek that this should be probably like a massive amount of people.
Oh, and Karen is right there in chat saying the website is all good now, so I'm going to go there right now.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. You beat me to
Thank
it.
you very
Yep.
much, Karen.
I know there's a couple people we might be caravanning with FE Nation. He's planning on driving out there. But yeah, 31 hours to Vegas, baby.
That'll be fun. I'll join that.
Y'all gonna get on 10, right? Gonna get on 10, and I can meet y'all on the 4 lane.
And well, 10 a little bit south, isn't it?
Yeah, 10's way
Yeah,
south.
okay.
I'm fucking with you.
Which the one that Phoenix is off of? Is that 8? I forget. It's been a while since I've been out that way.
Not 40.
Well, I know the interstate is like 8 and 10 out there. One goes to San Francisco. The other one goes towards LA, San Diego.
Yeah,
I
that's
forget.
the 10, I think. That's the 10.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to get there. I'd like to avoid the Rocky Mountains in late October.
Take I-40. That's the best. I've driven cross country a few times, and I-40 is way easier than I-80.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's
Rico is carpooling. Heck yeah. This is going to be fun. I cannot wait. I've never been to Vegas. I've never driven through a desert. Like I've driven through Arizona and New Mexico, but in my eyes, that's not like a desert where all you see is like sand and then mountains off in the distance. I've never seen that. There's always been bushes and trees and cactuses and, stuff like that. But out there, I want to see like the desert where it's sand. I'm excited.
Well, we don't really have that in the U.S. If you go out to Nevada, it's just like dirt and stuff. Like New Mexico, Arizona, it's just dirt, not really sand, like the Sahara Desert.
Well, no, even if it's dirt, that's fine. But I'm talking about like Arizona, New Mexico. There's a lot of vegetation, and I was not expecting that. I was expecting like desert, no plants anywhere around. Isn't it kind of like that out there in Nevada desert?
Maybe in some spots.
Yeah, I think you're going to find that it's a little bit more similar to what you're describing with scrub and cacti and whatnot.
Oh well, maybe that place in my dreams isn't in this country then. And Karen said someone has already bought tickets from the Netherlands. Heck yeah!
Wow. Oh, you know who it is? It was that couple that came on to Treble and Tribune, or was it? No, it was on the Melodome last week.
Nice.
Wow, that's awesome.
I'm guessing
a couple from Netherlands will go to Flattoberfest. Great.
That's what they were telling us. Yeah.
I hope to make it, somehow if I can, maybe this year. But if I buy tickets to go back to the States, then I would definitely like to stop by Vegas, see everybody over there. Be awesome.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the one that's really get big right here. Because Vegas there's a lot of people from the West Coast that have been waiting for an event like this. Since, the last time we were out west was like Denver, if you consider that out west.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't been out that way in a while. There hasn't been like a big big meetup like this in quite some time. 2018. So yeah, it's 5-year hiatus for the West Coasters. Not to say that a lot of people from the West Coast didn't come out to South Carolina when they were out here. Yeah, we got a really good draw of people in South Carolina. So I can't imagine how awesome it's going to be in Vegas.
It'll be amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, and Cammy now have some new stuff for how the world works. I don't even want to mention it because I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but I want to do the Star in the Jar.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to be able to do that. I have like half the stuff to do it already. Like the expensive part, we already have with the Rife machine.
What are you missing, Stardust?
Yeah, dang fairy dust.
Unicorn piss.
There's some kind of sonic something or other to do the levitation. You need this kind of certain, like speaker setup almost. And I think I'll be able to do the water in midair with this even. I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff that we want to do to show people and let people play with.
What was the first Plateauberfest like demonstration that you've done? Like, was it like back in 2018 or 17? When was it?
2019 maybe? I forget.
2019.
Oh, no, 2019 was Dallas, but I don't know if Karen had one 2019. I know 2020, I believe she did.
Mm. I'm just curious, like if these demonstrations have like evolved, or you're thinking of course, I think everybody's thinking of the cosmology of the flat Earth probably have changed over the years, right?
Yeah, a lot of the stuff I've done, I did like the 2 plates with matter. When I reverse the electric field, it goes up. Wanted people to see that one. Then one time I did the balloons that were hanging there, and you send give it a charge and it goes down to the ground, discharge it, it comes back up. So kind of, it's videos that I've done, especially the ones where people say, oh, that's fake. You can see him pushing the balloons down in the shadow with his hand. It's like, come on, really? So I wanted to show people this, in front of people with their own eyes. Let them turn the crank themselves and see, oh, wow, this actually does this.
All right. Well, I think
a
it's
lot
going
of it's stuff
to wrap
like
it
that.
up here, fellas. We're real close.
Oh, yeah,
There's
wow.
going to be stuff happening soon. I'm not sure if we're even going out on TFR or if they just play in the replay because I came in late. Hard to say exactly. But I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us. Zombie, I see you there. We're going to hang out probably for a little bit after the show. But it's much love, everybody. Thanks for hanging out on this Tuesday
morning. Love y'all.
Thank
Thank y'all so much for the support.
Love y'all.
And I believe that's it because I just went right to the vault. Popped right in. All right. Love you guys. Toodles.